fantastic. This is GT racing right now.
He's got traction, he's going in the outside of both of them! Maloney!
Oh, he's taking Anderson! Anderson's up top!
Oh my god! Big crash! Oh my goodness, half the field's gonna get rolled!
Second very close. These guys are want to make their way through the field very quickly.
Oh, there we go!
Oh no! That's massive! This is it! This is over! I can't believe this! Oh my god!
God, what?
All right, welcome there, team. So into our third instalment of our 3-week KartSport series, proudly brought to you, as we said, the 3 previous nights by Dillon from Dillon Photography. This week, same again, GT3 is the format that we're running, coming to you live from Sebring. So this is our third circuit that we've run. Previous circuits we've run, it's produced really, really good racing, and nonetheless, I hope we're going to see some exciting action tonight. Joining me in the commentary box is my old sparring partner, Ari Hutton, and we've also got a very special guest in the box tonight in the form of Dillon himself. So really lucky to have a great supporter of the KartSport series come and join us. So welcome Ari, welcome Chris.
Yeah, g'day. It's good to be back.
Excellent. So in for another great instalment, and as we said, welcome Chris. It's great to have you along. We might have actually lost Chris there, Tim. We had a few technical difficulties leading up to this, but that's all good. No doubt he might come in and join us very shortly. So same as before there, Ari. So we've got a 20-minute qualifying, which is about to decide our grids for race 1. We'll see a quick rundown here of our points from the previous nights there, Ari.
Yeah, exactly. Obviously, Zane Hills has got a good margin on the rest of the field, followed by Nathan Anderson. Obviously, round 1, Zane was just completely dominant and ran away with it. But round 2 saw us have a bit more competition for Zane. But yeah, awesome mix. It looks very close from 4th down to 9th. So awesome track this week as well at Sebring. A track that I'm not too familiar with, but definitely a track that I've seen lots of videos in terms of Porsche testing there. Very popular in the American Le Mans series. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see again what car stands out. Just talking to my flatmate Christian, he's going to be online tonight, so he was having a bit of a sip of water and decided whether he's going to take the Ferrari or the Mercedes Benz. But and as we've also got Paul Blomqvist there. We've got our live cameras back in action, so that should be interesting as well, Tony.
Yeah, fantastic. This was our first time last week in using these driver onboards, so this is really, really cool. Nice to see Paul's got one of my t-shirts on there, so Paulie's really stepping up his game tonight.
Perfect.
But so yeah, really, really cool little thing that Jay and Scotty Fountain from SynSpeed has allowed us to do with these driver onboards. It really gives us another dimension to talk about, and as we see Paul hustling himself, and he's obviously he'd be flat out on a Discord chat there as well too to see some of the drivers. So, and we'll also be having some onboard audio from some of the drivers. We'll be talking to them, and I think Paul's going to be one that we'll be jumping on board with and hopefully throwing a bit of commentator's curse on him tonight, Ari.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Obviously, qualifying at the moment is super important because it sort of, for race 1 at least, it gets you out of the carnage. As we can see already, there's a couple of cars going on. That's my flatmate, Paul. So
perfect.
Passing it out already.
Yeah. Big understeer by Paul already. Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, qualifying is super important for race 1, and then it's sort of a bit of luck up to that for race 2, which is a reverse grid, and then race 3, which is my favorite, which is a mixed grid. But yeah, it should be some awesome racing. It's going to be interesting to see if Zane can hold his lead in the championship. We've also got young Blake Dowdle there in 3rd, and Isaac Fletcher. So there's 2 young guns in 4th and 5th on 68 and then 70 points. So yeah, this is the last round, last 3 races. We'll see if Graham can put up a bit of a special prize for the maybe the championship winner of the Dillon Photography series. But yeah, and some awesome liveries there again. And a good mix of cars so far.
Yeah, that's right. So as we see another onboard shot of Isaac Fletcher, once again, he's kicked everyone out of the lounge for the 2nd week in a row, and he's obviously running the VR goggles as well too, which we've seen Bryce Forward used to great purpose in the V8 Supercar E Series over our previous lockdowns. So he's probably the only one, I think, out of everyone using some VR goggles there. So as you said, Ari, obviously Sebring, very well-known and popular race circuit in America. It certainly doesn't have an American style of name. If you didn't know it was in the States, you would think it was in some European country. But yeah, very popular with a lot of the few of the Porsche factory teams, and also the likes of our own Brendan Hartley and Earl Bamber, Scott Dixon. So a lot of very famous Kiwis have staked their claim here, and in a lot of different formulas. So we'll have a track map to talk you through very shortly there, team, and we can see that just scrolling down on Google Earth. So as we said, one of the very, very popular circuits on the American Endurance Series and Stock Car Series, just based south of Orlando there. And as we said, it's been put to very good use by a lot of the factory teams through different testing procedures and different vehicles as well too, because the weather, of course, is always good there. So you can see we've got a really good track layout here for you, and the best part of 16 turns making up
Super long.
It's a really long lap here, and obviously lots of different scenarios and different track layouts that they can run here by the look of it, Ari.
Yeah, I mean, a super long track, like 6 kilometers. Wow, that's huge. So I think there's going to be a bit of a difference in the times here, as you can already see. And we've got Ryan Wood this week, and already on top of the time sheets. So that's awesome to just get Ryan back into the game again. I'm pretty sure he was pretty savvy on in the first couple of weeks. So it's good to have him back. But he's got a 9/10 lead in qualifying so far from Nathan Anderson, who's a regular, and Zach Wilco. But interesting track surface as well. Obviously, it's a very technical track. Obviously, like you said, that's why a lot of manufacturers test here. It was also quite flat, and the task here was quite interesting in a way. And hopefully, we can maybe have a look at some more expert analysis of this. But it is a very white tarmac. It's very flat in a way. But a lot of concrete as well. And also the curbs are very high and have got sort of harsh lips to them, so it's not very forgiving. And there's no runoff, it's all grass. So if someone has an off here, I think you're going to lose a lot of times. It's going to be interesting to see if our famous crashes come back and how that presents the cars all the way through the field. So, and we've got Callum Pratt also on the live camera here, so it's awesome to see him. And then he's running the Rush Sim Racing livery as well. So obviously that was a fairly big team that we saw take part 2 weeks ago. But yeah, it's awesome to see some more drivers coming in, Tony.
Yeah, that's right. And if we actually, touching on that Rush simulator livery that Callum's running on his Audi there, if we go back to our visuals that we had of Nathan Anderson, he's actually got Rush simulation livery on his car as well.
Oh, the silly season started for the next championship.
Yeah, that's right. So we're halfway through the series, and we've also got, as you said, a silly season, and Nathan Anderson's obviously got some support or running for the Rush simulation team. So that's cool, and no doubt we'll hopefully see his brother. If you haven't seen James Anderson there, he might be running the ITM livery, looking after the family sponsors there. So Billy Fraser. Running in the Audi tonight, as we see. Just speaking of James Anderson, we've just seen James get into the left hand. It looks like he's sort of locked the rears on turning, and he looks like he's had a massive shift around in the livery there. He's got some Craig Lowndes sort of Autobahn looking livery on his car tonight. So we've got, as you said, she's full on silly season tonight already, Ari.
Yeah, how good. And we've got Matthew Griffin back as well in the cat livery. That looks pretty cool. The BMW there. There's more drivers again this week, more so than looks like from the previous week, and a really good mix. So it's definitely Zane's probably going to be thinking of trying to keep out of trouble. Easier said than done, that's for sure, to try and take a championship. There's so many quick drivers. Isaac Fletcher in P2, obviously he's a regular in the top 10, but to now be in the top 3 shows that he's improving. Obviously done a bit of sneaky testing here and there from his local karting events. And Ryan Wood, our current pulsar, has gone around in the 40 blue BMW. So he's definitely pushing the limit at the moment, but he's 1 second ahead still from Isaac Fletcher. So let's see what the others can do here. And Zach Blinko in his classic pink livery, number 90, Mercedes-Benz there. He's a big fan of the pink there, Zach. Isn't he, Tony?
He's been running the pink on and off, hasn't he, sporadically? So it's certainly, if it hasn't been pink wheels, it's been she's been pink nearly all over. So can't say I'm a fan, but hey, each to their own. We won't judge. So, but yeah, how like touch on 2 things you said there, Ari. So one, how long's the lap? You know, we're just over 2 minutes, so massively long lap. So no doubt, a few of the guys and girls, have been doing a little bit of testing this week. Obviously, the longer lap, there's longer corners to remember, longer sections to keep in the back of your mind. And as you know, with anything that we actually do in the real world, you know, if you get one corner wrong, no doubt the next 2 or 3 corners after that are going to be a bit of a headache. So, as you said, long 6K lap. We can see Zach Blunt goes flat out on the lights. But it looks like one of the Muzz Minion Motorsport entries. That might have been Paul Blomqvist, I think, actually already holding someone up in qualifying. But yeah, really long lap, and that's a good credit to Woody's form tonight. As you said, 1 second is the margin. It's certainly not like the tight margins we saw with the supercars over the weekend. We've certainly got some really big gaps there. But no doubt, the more laps that people will do, those margins, all going well, should I would expect to start to become a little bit closer to those leaders, Ari.
Exactly. Yeah, obviously people who know, who race with KartSport Rotorua, exactly the same thing. A big lap there, so you're going to make sure you make the most of every corner, and think about sort of getting into the rhythm and making sure that every corner links to one another. But yeah, I mean, Ryan Wood, just smoking him at the moment. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see if he can hold that lead and also pull away and get out of the carnage, which is for me the most entertaining part.
Yeah, that's right. It's certainly, we've had plenty of laughs over the last, not only 3 nights, over the last 6 nights. It's been a little bit of carnage here and there, but as we said, the iRacing platform does allow for a little bit of bump and grind at times, and without the cost of obviously having to virtually fix stuff in the real world. So, Ryan Wood, as we said, doing a stellar job, and he's got some really fast kids around him. You've got some really experienced sim racers around him, with the like of Paul Blomqvist all the way down to 10th. As we see some visuals of Paul, and he's really quick on the steering there, Paulie. So not too relaxed tonight by the look of it. Looks like he's got lockdown fever, and he's really working that simulator pretty hard tonight. I know he's got some really good simulator gear underneath him there. His brother Tom bought quite a bit of equipment back during the first lockdown, sort of through March. So he's got no excuse for the equipment that he's got underneath him tonight, Ari.
Yep, that's for sure. Did you hear about how the Chris Dillon photography auction went there, Tony?
So I think that wrapped up a couple of days ago, didn't it?
Yeah. I think I got outbid, apparently.
Yes.
I'm pretty gutted about that.
It's in Hay last week we were going on how good value for money it was. So I see it sort of went for around $550, which is really cool, because obviously in turn that's sort of part of the contribution that Chris has given as far as the sponsorship goes. But that was like a $1,200 value. So whoever picked that up,
what a deal!
Yeah, I know, what a deal. So they've come up with a really good deal. Whoever's won that auction, and as we said, Chris is an absolute wizard behind the camera. Whether it be a photo shoot for a sponsorship proposal, wedding photograph, photos of your pets, or photos of an exotic car. Chris can do it all. So if you weren't the lucky winner of that auction, get involved, get in touch with Chris through his various platforms. Certainly Instagram is one of his most active ones that he uses. Posts on there quite a bit. So have a look at what he does. His work's absolutely fantastic. And hopefully we should be great dragging Chris in here very soon, and we can have a word to the man himself, hopefully, and get a bit of an insight into what is Chris Dillon photography there, Ari.
Yeah, that'd be great. It'd be awesome to see a bit of a preview of what the winners got lined up for Chris. So maybe we can update you on the Facebook page later on.
Yeah, that's right. So we got some visual here of Ryan Wood. It's, as we said, great to have him back on our KartSport platform. He was sort of very active at the start of our original lockdown, and then missed him on a few nights, but really good to have him back. So here's your flatmate there, Ari, Christian Hermanson, running the full Red Bull livery Ferrari tonight by the look of it.
He's chosen the Ferrari, yeah. He was tossing, like I said before, he was tossing up. He came in for a bit of a cheeky gulp of water, and he's sort of like, I don't know if this is the Mercedes or the Ferrari. I was like, mate, just go with your gut. And it looks like he's gone for the Ferrari. Normally he's a bit of a Mercedes man, so obviously he's definitely done a fair bit of testing in all different sorts of cars. Obviously we've got so many
Yeah, I've lost everyone. I'm not sure what's. Can you hear me, Joe?
I can hear you.
Hello.
There you go. There's our.
Hello, team. I can hear you.
Yep, I'm back in. Okay.
All right, there, team. A little bit of an audio hiccup there. No dramas. We're all back on board and we've got everything sorted. So, as we said, qualifying winding down very slowly. Not too long left, and as we said, Ryan Wood still got a really healthy margin on the lead on the whole group. Should we say there, Ari?
Yeah. Obviously, it just shows his talent not only in a kart and also a TR86, but also on the simulator. And I was talking to him the other weekend. He was a bit gutted because his sim gear, he had a bit of a failure, and he had to get some more in. But because of COVID, he couldn't get anything in for a while. But it looks like he's got it all up and running again. And look how quick he is already. But Ryan's been doing a bit of karting in New Zealand recently, which is good to see again. Obviously, with the restriction in Australia that can't travel over there, so he was out testing KartSport Wellington the other weekend, and also did the WPKA Gold Star the last 2 rounds. So that was awesome to see, and obviously back on the sim tonight.
Yeah, and that would explain the lack of sim racing we've been doing. I wasn't sure what the story was, but obviously lack of sim parts sounds like the story for young Woody there. But certainly good to have him back. And as you said, Woody's been very active recently, racing in the last couple of rounds of Gold Star there, the championship round, and at Hastings the final round, in a bit of a stellar pack Rotax light field, and pretty tough going for all concerned. And Woody came out with some good results. So going down through our qualifying orders so far, their team a little over just under 3 minutes to run. As we said, Ryan Wood, current pole sitter at the moment. A little over a second margin there on Isaac Fletcher. Zane Hill's the Auckland driver. Zane, obviously our current series leader as well too. Ari mentioned before, he'll be looking to just consolidate, not doing anything silly tonight. Nathan Anderson, one of the Anderson brothers there, obviously 4th. Zach Blinko P5 rounding out the top 6 at the moment. Taylor Cockett in there, Ari.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's going to be interesting. He's 1 second off the pace, but he's pretty close in between Isaac Fletcher and Nathan Anderson. Interesting, it's only Ryan that's out in front. The rest is actually really close. There's half a second from position 2 to all the way down to 9th. So it's super close from that sort of mid to front pack. But Ryan Wood's definitely obviously put a stellar lap in. So it'll be interesting to see if he's also consistent. Obviously 1 minute 44 to go. The bright pink car of Zach Belenko is still going around. What's this lap going to be for him? It's a 2:03, and that puts him still in 5th position. Loving the wheels too. He must have got those from Carter's.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, definitely. It's got Matt Carter written all over it, the pink wheels. So
100%.
Quite interesting going back down the order there. So we see Andrew Waite. There's another familiar name pop up there. Ari, KartSport Mount Wellington driver. Former Toyota Racing Series competitor, New Zealand Ute competitor. To whatever Andrew sort of turned his hand at, did a very good job, whether it be a Formula car or a sedan car. And obviously, for those of you that don't know, Andrew is actually the current head driver and instructor down at Highlands Motorsport Park in Cromwell. So we've been talking about it plenty. It's all about shopping local and having a holiday within New Zealand. So if you are heading down the South Island, especially for those Aucklanders, once you're allowed to travel, and heading down through Cromwell, make sure you head into Highlands Motorsport Park. And certainly, personally, what I feel is probably the most picturesque race circuit in the country. Done quite a few events there with Downforce, and it's a stunning part of the country. And as we see Andrew just get right into the right rear of one of our other drivers there. So don't use that as an example. By all means, still go to Highlands. Check the place out. Andrew's driving there is not an example of how they do things there. But yeah, great part of the country, and that's a little bit of history on Andrew, and great to have him with us tonight there, Ari.
Yeah, exactly. I've been fortunate enough to go down to the Highlands Festival down there a couple of times. And yeah, what a place it is. Tony Quinn obviously has done a fantastic job down there, and to see an old Mount Wellington karting karting mate working down there is awesome. He was always a little bit older than me. He was in the class above me, but yeah, awesome to get him involved, and as well as Ryan and Paul and all these guys that we all used to race karts against, all now back on the simulator, as well as obviously all the new people. Well, I shouldn't say new people, I should say younger people, like Isaac Fletcher and Zach Blinko and things like that. So yeah, but we're done now, and Ryan Wood's taking out still with the second margin. But look how close it is from Isaac Fletcher, Zane Hills, Nathan Anderson, Zach Blinko, Taylor Cochran, and Billy Fraser, Matthew Griffin, Matthew Pluck, and Paul Blomqvist, your top 10. So from second to all the way down to 11th, all within a second of each other. So that's going to be a great bunch. And then we've also got another group from 12 down to around the 16th position, which is also within a second. So we've definitely got some bunches forming there, Tony. So it's going to be interesting to see how they work together in the race.
Yeah, that's right. We have had some fantastic battles through that sort of 4th through to 6th position, haven't we, through the previous evenings? So we'll see what little gaggles will pop up for us to have a look at. And Nathan Anderson, obviously just on the tail end of qualifying there, has jumped into P3. So. And there'll be we're not going to have a break between qualifying and race 1 this evening, their team. We're going to be shuffling straight through to it. And hopefully that might actually be a chance to maybe drag in Chris Dillon if he's going to be floating around in the meantime. And as we see just at the end there, Zane Hills has closed that margin to Woody just by 10th, so it's a little over 9/10 there, Ari. For Ryan Wood through to Zane Hills there for second.
Yeah, good job by Zane. Let's see if he can get through turn 1, and now he's done the job in qualifying to get to the front. Now his task is just to get through the first lap.
Yeah, that's right. And it will be, obviously we're all running a fixed setup on all the cars tonight. There's no tunability of them, so it just takes that element of being able to tweak the cars too much to suit yourself. They are all on a fixed setup, which is a really good level, but then a good testament to what Woody's done there in that lap. To be running effectively the same setup as everyone, but to pop out there with a pole. So as we touched on before, Ryan Wood just a little over the 2-minute mark there, 2-minute 0.3. Zane Hills P2 there with a 2:01.2. Isaac Fletcher's going to be coming off the second row in grid 3. 2:01.37. So here's these really tight margins we were talking about, Ari. Nathan Anderson there, a little over a 10th behind Isaac Fletcher. He's going to round out the second row there with a 2:01.4. Zach Blinko, the pink machine, he's running out of the third row there in P5, 2:01.5, and a 10th back to Taylor Cochran there in P6. Billy Fraser, you could there's a net here and net between 6th and 7th with Billy Fraser there, 2:01.6. And Matthew Griffin, as we mentioned, good to have Matthew back, 2:01.8. So about 2/10 there he needs to find to sort of get inside that top 3 row. Matthew Pluck there, 2:01.9. And Paul Blomqvist, 2:01.9 as well too. So she's pretty tight there, and 11th to 20th there, Ari. I will give you those ones.
Yeah, definitely tight. I'm just looking at the points here. We've got it's all fairly close except for Zane. He's got like a 15-point lead going into the couple of races tonight. Zach Blinko in that nice bright pink car is down in 11th. Unfortunately, we don't have Wayne Phipps tonight.
Oh no, we can see Wayne here. Wayne's P20. No, you're right.
P20. All right. Well, he's got a bit of work to do if he wants to keep his top 10 position. But yeah, it's so close. Last time was so entertaining to see who came through the field. We've got Simon there as well in 24th position. So it looks like we've got around 30 cars tonight, which is fantastic. Definitely a good competitive field. Cameron Dance, he's back in the pack a little bit. I expect him to come through during the race. He's a very experienced sim racer. So it's going to be super interesting. Obviously, straight into race 1, which is obviously determined by qualifying, and then reverse grid, and then the mixed grid. So let's see how we go.
Cool. And as we said, rolling starts their team. We've had those for all of our 3 nights of our iKartSport series. So rolling starts, nice and simple. And with it being a 6K circuit, it'll be interesting to actually see how much of a roll-up lap that they have. And I just had a message actually come through from Wayne Phipps. He's actually handed the simulator back over to Aston this evening. So Aston Phipps back in the simulator
awesome.
seat for the Phipps family entry there. So we'll be keeping an eye on his progress through the through the evening. The KartSport Wellington / KartSport Auckland driver, Junior Max driver, they're competing, running out of grid 20. So looks like we're all go here, Ari. So nice short run up, and they're going to head down into turn 1. So Ryan Wood there coming in from the right hand side. Nice wide entry into turn 1. I wouldn't imagine we're going to see too many accidents given how big that turn 1 there is as they go through the shallow turn 2 into the tight left-hander there. So we'll just have one back up into the fence there. To be honest, probably one of the cleanest first corners we've had so far, Ari.
Yeah, I'm amazed, although we shouldn't speak too early. Yeah, I mean, Ryan, what a start. Got up front. Zane's followed him through, so he's done the job that he wanted to do. But yeah, I mean, like, there's a replay now. We can see cars going everywhere. There's the Petronas car there in the middle. Zach Blinko, you can see his car nice and pink there. But yeah, clean start, relatively.
It was Cameron Dance as we were watching him come through the field, wasn't it? So Cameron's made up a bunch of places in that first corner, and then as they got up into the section sort of turn 2 and 3, he's dropped the wheels on the grass as they're coming into the left-hander, and a really uncharacteristic lose by Cameron there. So that's a shame. So that's sort of taken him out of the first couple of positions as he was making them up. But we'll keep an eye on him. He'll no doubt come back as everyone starts to settle into their rhythm. So we can see Woody's margin already. He's already stretched that out to just over a second there. Nathan Anderson running in P3. So we've got Paul Blomqvist here. We've got some visuals of him as well too. So the front end of that BMW looking really second hand. And so no doubt Paul's been right in the thick of it of that first lap. And we can see him using all the 8-runners. So as they get into the fast right-hander, ducks to the left, tries to open the corner up as much as possible. So we might actually have a replay coming up. Going to explain what Paul actually got up to. So he's gotten reasonably hot. And into the really tight right-hander, we can see him. Looks like he's probably blaming someone else there on his microphone. But it was safe to say there, Paulie, you got him pretty hot and everyone just funneled down in front of you. So we'll see if that damage is going to cause him any problems as we get back on our lead pack here, Ari.
Yeah, classic Paul. Blaming someone else.
That's right.
Interesting to see, like you're talking about, the sim setups obviously very good with contacts with Tom and things, and you can definitely see that with his arm movement. Obviously got a high feedback, feed force back on, and it's definitely looking fairly physical there for Paul. So it'll be interesting to see if his fitness can keep up and last all 3 races. But yeah, it's not going to help with that pushback front end, if you like. And it looks like we've got Isaac Fletcher's got his race engineer inside the cockpit, so that's interesting. Giving me a few tips on the radio here and there, or maybe just asking when he's going to be done for dinner. So we'll see how we go over there. And Andrew Waite there, battling with Christian Hermanson and Ollie Workman, Matthew Pluck. So that's a good battle. Using a little bit of grass. He's in the fence. We're all about using the apron, but that was just a little bit too much. That was the right rear actually over the curb and into the grass. So pretty brave move, and never going to pull itself off because it's just going to unload the back of the car. So as we come back with our leading group, so we did talk about these gaggle of cars that we're going to get, weren't we? So we see the 2 Rush Simulator drivers there of Zane Hills and Nathan Anderson, P2 and 3, Zach Blinko charging hard, and the Pink Panther Mobile there, and Taylor Cockerton. We haven't spoken about Taylor tonight, but really experienced karter out of KartSport Mount Wellington. Done a lot of Formula racing up in Asia, and also plenty of Formula racing here in New Zealand. So really experienced racer in the form of Taylor Cockerton there. So, and we can see Ryan Woods actually made a mistake there, team, and the leading second and third pack have actually come back to Omaha here, Ari. It's all go now. Yeah, what a battle. We've got 5 cars, Dyson for the lead.
3 wide,
Ryan's
Nelly.
gone back to second. Yeah. And obviously we've got a bit of Nathan Anderson, the Rushton Racing in the first position, and we've also got Zane Hills in the fourth. So Rushton Racing's having a good race here. Let's see if they can keep it clean and work together. But yeah, awesome race. No one's sort of driven away with this. Ryan's obviously that lap in qualifying might have been a bit of a blinder, and he's come back to his standard consistent pace, and now it's obviously equal to everyone else, which is good to see. But 2 BMWs in the lead. That's the first time we've seen, as Ryan goes for a nice late lunge down into the right-hander, really clean, slows the apex down, and gets a really clean exit there. So, and we see Nathan's got pressure via Zach here. So yeah, but like I said, it's interesting to see BMWs right at the front there with Mercedes. Can't really see many Audis up there or Ferraris, so might have to give much Flatmate a tune-up of why I chose a Ferrari, but yeah, Ryan looks like he's got a decent margin again now, so we'll see if the others can work together, which is probably not going to happen from what I can see in this lap.
Yeah, as you said, it certainly looks like it favours the BMW marquee tonight, doesn't it? And we had seen Mercedes certainly probably be the better of the brands at some of the quicker tracks, but as we said, it's quite a long lap, should we say, here at Sebring, but a lot of corners. We've got the best part of 16 corners here making up our 6K lap here at Sebring. So certainly favouring, as we see Nathan Anderson fading to the right, trying to cover that line as they get into the fast right-hander there over the back of the circuit. We see it opens up as they go through the long underneath the bridge, quite bumpy underneath the bridge there as well too. So we might see the Pink Panther machine of Zach Blanco might actually start to get onto it a little bit here. He's actually gapped Nathan Anderson slightly. He's probably going to have the ears pinned down and try and chase down Ryan Wood. And so we'll keep an eye on that it's about 1.3 seconds is the margin at the moment, their team. So we'll keep an eye on that as Zach Blanco pulls the ears back and tries to hunt down Ryan Wood. As we go to a quick replay here. So Isaac Fletcher, just running in 18th position at the moment on this replay as we get down into the right-hander. So a bit of a change of surface there as we go underneath the bridge. And
it's gone straight into the barrier.
A really lazy mistake there. So either Mum's brought his dinner out or he was trying to check out himself in his on his live feed or something, but he's gone in for a quick repair there, Ari, as we go back to our leading bunch. It's still all going. We can see Zach Blanco's trying to hunt down Woody with a margin of 1.5 seconds at the moment, Ari.
Yeah, I was wondering if we could cross live to Chris Dillon. Maybe he'll be up on the grandstand taking some pretty awesome shots right now. Is he there? Oh, it doesn't seem he's hooked up.
No, that's right. Remember, Chris was having a few audio issues earlier on. It's like me the first night, to be fair, so I know how tricky it can be trying to get all your devices and everything to line up. So, but no doubt we'll get a bit of a notification when Chris is going to jump in. So, here's the man Cameron Dart. So we see Cameron there on the right as we fade back to Christian Hermanson there. That's your flatmate, and I think he's got Andrew Waite right behind him. So Cameron Dart's. So he's made his way up to 14th position there. Remember, he came off the back, had an incident at turn 2. Here we go, the Tui supported driver, and he's making his way through the field. So pretty much a reverse grid race, I suppose you could say, for Cameron. He's got the Sparkos on and got the eyes forward, but we can see Christian's breathing down the back end of him there, Ari.
Yeah, he's been doing a lot of laps this week. Comes home from work, jumps straight on the sim, so he's definitely got no excuses. So we'll be interested to see how he goes. He's obviously with 2 very capable sim racers, so his practice is making perfect here, down in 14th place. And he's gone a bit wide there. It's so, like you said, it's so bumpy underneath that bridge. It's ridiculous. I mean, obviously iRacing do such a good job of scanning the tracks. Oh no, oh no, he's out.
So Christian's managed to reverse spin Andrew Waite in a straight line. Not too sure what's happened there. I think Andrew might have been coming just up the inside of him, and I think Waite might have actually squeezed Christian up towards the wall, and he's gotten to the right rear of him. So we've got a bit of a replay here, and we can show you exactly what happened. So they've come underneath the bridge. Looks like Christian's missed his turning point, really run quite wide. Andrew Waite's got the run off the turn, and it looks like Andrew's just faded towards the wall slightly. So one of those things, there's probably nothing deliberate in it by any means, but just the racing room wasn't quite there between those two there, Ari.
Yeah, I can hear some words coming from the other room, so it's not going to be a good night. But I'm sure he'll regroup, maybe get the old reverse grid for the next race, and see how we can go for the next couple. But what a battle we have in the lead bunch here. And like you said, Zach Blinko has pulled away a little bit, but he doesn't really have anything for Ryan Wood. And I'm back on board with Nathan Anderson here. So what an awesome front bunch we have. Although saying that, some are going around and we're going, oh. And look at Nathan's face. He was just like, how close was that?
And that was
Taylor.
That was Taylor Cockerton, wasn't it? That's right. So I was trying to pick up who it was at the last minute. So that happened all in slow motion, virtually in front of us. So we'll see how it pans out. So we've got Taylor Cockerton. He's leading this group at the moment. So not a massive amount of pressure. I'm running, just leading these guys at the front. So he's got his eyes forward. And he's just dropped a wheel off. So he's run out onto the apron there, had a bit of a tank slapper, and he actually nearly caught it up, but it's just over-rotated as he's corrected it heading towards the wall. And he's Nathan Anderson can count his lucky stars that he wasn't dragging the front end of his rush simulated vehicle there, Ari. That could have been pretty gnarly.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the awesome nature about this track. There's no concrete, or there's not much concrete runoff. Most of it is grass. So if you do make a mistake, it is very costly and it doesn't forgive you. So awesome to see that. Drivers not getting away with mistakes this weekend. One little mistake, even from a super experienced Taylor Cockerton, shows that it fires you straight into the wall. And I've got a bit of an update from my flat. I can hear him, Christian. He's actually getting some food right now, so he's definitely retired from this race.
He's out.
He's had enough. He's
completely boxed.
Yeah,
He's
exactly.
boxed.
Exactly. Yeah. He's in the fridge hunting for some chocolate to get back in for the next race, hopefully.
Oh, that's perfect. So we'll follow where we were before. So we're just looking at Taylor Cockerton. So obviously when he had that moment before, but the other person we were keeping an eye on was Cameron Dant. So Cameron's just popped up to P13 there, and so you probably find he's done all that hard work, and now he's starting to get closer to guys that are of similar margin to him. So he's a little over 27 seconds off the lead, about 2 seconds to the car in front of him. And obviously the closer he gets, and it looks like we've got Nathan Anderson. So that was he was running in the top 3 there, wasn't he? So that's a big moment for Nathan, obviously carrying quite a bit of damage there, Ari. And no doubt we'll probably get a replay at some stage pop up and actually see what happened there. But that's a shame for Nathan Anderson, obviously running P2 in points as well too there, Ari.
Yeah, another classic offset rear wing now for Nathan. We see so many of them by the time the end of the race comes around. And again, he's just dropped it off the apron, off the curb, onto the grass, and it's just sent him flying into the barrier. So super unforgiving this track. And he's back on board now. He doesn't look too phased about it. This is a replay.
Yeah, we're still on the replay, but we've got some live footage on the right-hand side. That's right. But very slow lose, very, very slow lose. It didn't look like he was, trying to drive the car too fast. He wasn't actually forcing the error, but the car just faded slightly and just went into a big oversteer and lost the rear. So, bit of a shame for Nathan, but he's only dropped to P6, so he's still sort of in that gaggle of cars that we talk about from P3 through to P6, and certainly Matthew Griffin looks like he's the benefactor of a few of those moments there, Ari.
Yeah, exactly. What's all going on here again? Nearly 3 wide. Oh, we got 2 people under the bridge, and that's a dangerous place because that's a blind corner as you come around there. So you wouldn't want to meet a car facing the other way around there. And we've got a Ferrari with no wings, so last lap everyone's gone loose and seeing what they can do. Or maybe they're just playing a bit of a cheeky game to get the reverse grid pole. Who knows? But it's all on. It's great entertainment for us. Interesting that Anderson. That was super close. Interesting that Anderson brothers are not running the ITM livery this weekend. This week. So I'm not sure what's going on there. Obviously, giving a few more sponsors some support on our iRacing KartSport League. But we got Zane Hills here. He's going for the 3rd position with Matthew Griffin. So he wants to try and keep out of the carnage. So obviously, like I said, he's leading the points. But he has made a clean pass, and and Matthew, who's not really in the points, is all over him. So it'll be interesting to see what happens here on the final lap. Hopefully they don't come together for Zane's sake.
We can see Zane's running all the way down the right-hand side there, trying to make it as tough as possible for Matthew as they get into the big, fast left-hander through the shallow right. So up through turn 2, turn 3 here. So as we turn into the tight left-hander here at 3, 4, and 5. So Matthew done a really good job. Late under brakes, really good driving by both those guys. As you said, Zane really using his head, letting Matthew by, knowing there's no point arguing over one position when you've got the series to think about as well too. So, and another name there as well, obviously Billy Fraser, a really experienced KartSport racer out of Auckland, and currently pretty sure running in New Zealand Formula Ford Championship. So doing a lot of single-seated racing, previously Formula V and the like, and so a little very experienced Formula open wheel racer as well. So Taylor Cockerton certainly testing the grass limits this evening, shouldn't we say? There are. He's having a good old battle there with I think that was Nathan Krang, might have outbraked himself and actually taken Taylor Cockerton off into the grass with him. And as we see Blake Dowdle applying the blowtorch to Taylor as well too. Taylor actually might maybe be carrying a little bit of damage, not too sure, but certainly he'll try and make up for his little bit of an assault there before, running in P8 there is Taylor. So obviously Ryan Wood, our leader at the moment, really stellar performance apart from that slight issue there in the first lap, but he's managed to stretch that lead out to 5.1 seconds. So really, really impressive considering obviously everyone's running on the same setup tonight. So lights ablaze there. Ryan Wood is the winner of our first 8-lap race tonight there, team. Absolute stellar performance. Great to have him back. Zach Blinko, the Pink Panther Motorsport machine there in P2. Matthew Griffin, awesome job by him to get inside the 3. And then obviously we've got Zane Hills there. Nice headstrong race with him. And just really collecting those points, thinking of that overall position. Taylor Cockerton there, P8. Blake Dowdle there in P9. As we see Taylor roll out of it after the finish line and nearly take Blake with him. And Matthew Pluck there, P12. And Arthur Brown, good to see the young South Island driver there in P12. Cameron Dance making his way up to 12th there after starting off the back there, Ari. So really good effort.
Fantastic job.
Awesome effort. So here's our official results there, team. So as we said, bit of a BMW affair, isn't it, there, Ari? So BMW first, third, fourth, really filling up that top 10 results there. A couple of Mercedes in there. And good to see a personal favourite of mine is the R8 LMS there, the Audi with Billy Fraser there in P5. So really interesting, as we've touched on before, seeing the different brands have different strengths and weaknesses at different tracks. And as we said, Sebring International Raceway certainly being a favourite of the BMW Z4 tonight, Ari.
Yeah, exactly, and it's really interesting to see Zach Blinko as well. Obviously, he did a really good job because we know that Mercedes is really hard on its tyres. So awesome to see. He's done a fantastic job in keeping it into the second position and not sort of coming back all the way into the Z4s as well.
Yeah, that's right. And we've absolute chock-a-block full of, you can nearly call it a one-make BMW class tonight there by the look of it. So Arthur Brown there, P11, the Liquid Action supporter driver, one of our previous sponsors. So good to see Arthur there. And some really fine company there with Cameron Dance there in P12. So Simon Buring Claridge, our steward from Wellington, Isaac Fletcher, Peter Romets, Liam Matheson, Oscar Goldfinch, Cameron Freeman, James Anderson there. So James didn't really figure too much tonight, did he? So obviously running the Autobahn livery Ferrari, and Logan Vidrich there in P20, rounding out the top 20 there tonight, their team. So that's race 1 done. 8 laps was the distance, and obviously grids based off our qualifying previously this evening. Race 2 is going to be the same distance, full reverse grid. So we're going to see a lot of these drivers that you'll see popping up on the screen now, like the likes of Andrew Waite, Christian Hermanson, all those experienced guys, they're going to be running off the front row of the grid. So really looking forward to that. And hopefully also we're going to have Chris Dillon from Dillon Photography joining us as well there too, team. So go away for a short break and we'll see you very shortly for race 2.
fantastic. This is GT racing right now. He's got traction, he's got rhythm. Both of them. Maloney.
Oh, he's taken Anderson. Anderson's up top
Oh
now.
my God. Big crash. Oh my goodness, half the field's going to get involved.
Second very close. These guys are want to make their way through the field very quickly. Oh, here we go. Oh no, that's massive. This is it. This is over. I can't believe this. Oh my God.
God, what?
All right, welcome back there, team. Fresh off the back of race one, stunning race. Sorry to kick off the night's events here at the KartSport Chris Dillon Photography supported KartSport series. Race 2 coming up very shortly. 8 laps is the distance. Reverse grid from our results of race 1. Obviously myself, Ari Hutton here in the commentary box, and finally I think we've got Chris Dillon from Dillon Photography joining us. Welcome, Chris.
You do. Technical hiccups fixed finally. Let's hope it's the same for the race 2 as well.
Yeah, no dramas. Yeah, trust me, like I said, the first night that we did this, I was giving Travis Smith absolute hernias trying to work it all out. So you're not alone in the technical difficulties. So great to have you along, and I suppose personally probably a big thanks from all of us that are involved for your support of the last 6 weeks of, or 3 weeks of racing over the last 6 week period.
Oh, look, that's my pleasure. You know, it's been a start to an involvement with KartSport for me. You know, I grew up as a photographer, not a kart racer, that's for sure. But it's one of those things that my career's evolved into motorsport and into car photography. I think the only way that you can do this job well is to give back as well. I think that life is give back to people. So, you know, I hope it helps.
Yeah, no, very much so. And obviously we had a very successful auction of yours that KartSport New Zealand auctioned off, and not sure who the lucky winner was, but it's exceptional value for money. So can you tell us a little bit about what sort of that photo shoot's sort of going to entail for the lucky winner?
Well, I'm not sure who it is either. They haven't contacted me yet, but when they do, I'm sure, you know, it's a $1,200 shoot. That includes all the post-production. So basically it's up to them to come up with what they want. And, you know, my career's been very, well, varied in many ways. I started off as a wedding photographer and ended up as a you know, the chief photographer for Audi and a few other brands. So, it's really up to them. I mean, if it's for sponsorship, that's a great thing. That really helps bring on some sponsors. You know, I've sponsored a couple of Speedway guys over the years, with Brayton Davison being the last one, and you know, he became the youngest winner of a feature race in history.
That's right, he did too. Yeah.
So it's just, you know, if that's what it's for. I mean, 20 years of my career was weddings, so I did give those up. I'm only doing 1 or 2 a year by request now, but I have done 1,000, so I'm pretty happy to walk away from weddings for a while.
Yeah, I'd imagine so. No, definitely. So.
Yeah.
No, certainly myself and Ari over the last couple of weeks have been looking at your website and your Instagram profile and that, and then certainly obviously myself, my dealings with you at our downforce events and stuff. You know, some of the work you do is absolutely fantastic, certainly as far as the automotive side of things, what I've seen, and know that anything after that, if you can photograph a Porsche GT3 RS doing 260 k's at Hampton Downs, I think everything after that comes pretty easy, I'm guessing.
Yeah, it's a bit like that actually. I always laugh when I motorsport tracks, and you know, there's always that sign, motorsport is dangerous, and having coming from a wedding career, you've never seen nothing like a bridezilla. So motorsport is the second most dangerous thing I've ever photographed. Weddings were definitely the first.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, it is great. You know, it's great to see the series. I mean, I see old Paul and Andrew there, and it's really good to have new faces that I haven't heard of, you know, and see some of these young guys in the karting coming through and really competing in this I series. So, you know, it's just a really, really good thing during these hard times where there's less on-track stuff than normal. And this is keeping everyone sharp, you know. So what a great series. That's all I think. And big ups to you and Ari too for the commentary, because TP, it's just fantastic. And I think there's a career for you and Ari going forward in full odd commentary. In fact, Look at a bit of a television series going on here. I reckon it's there's a few guys in TV that need to move over and make way for the TCRE show. So
Fantastic. I know.
How
Appreciate
good.
the kind words. Excellent. So, no, that's cool. But yeah, as we said, we really appreciate your support there, Chris. It's been great. We hope you've sort of, as we said, enjoyed it and enjoyed seeing your name up in lights there. And no doubt Graham would have spoke to you about the amount of views and the amount of hits we do get every 2 weeks when we do run these events. So we've certainly given you a good plug. And as we said, we've really appreciate your involvement. And no doubt we'll be seeing you hopefully at the racetrack very soon, Chris.
Oh, you certainly will. It's something I'll be involved in again as well. Going forward, it's a wonderful thing. This anything for KartSport is wonderful as far as I'm concerned, because it's where our champs come from generally, and it's just great to be involved. And I'm gonna sit back and watch Paul start in the reverse grid, because I know Paul well, of course, from the downforce days. So he's reverse grid, so he'll be somewhere at the front this time, and I'm sure I'll see him at the back by the end of the race as well. So that's just me giving Paul a bit of stick, and quite happy to do that actually.
Excellent. No, that's right. And as we're talking, we're actually underway there, team. So no, thanks very much, and definitely hang around there, Chris, as we get well into race 2 here. So as we speak, Paul Blomqvist there, Paulie B running in P3, him and Andrew Waite starting closer to the front this time there, Ari, obviously making use of that full reverse grid. And so we'll see if Paul can keep the front guards on that BMW Z4 of his this time, Ari.
Yeah, exactly. And look at Paul, he's laughing away. He's in third position. But it looks like we've swapped out the Rush Sim racing cars for the Muzminion racing cars there at the front for this reverse grid. But it looks like Paul's doing a bit more talking than he's driving. His arms are flapping around like a chicken on the beach. So we'll see how we go. And yeah, this is definitely all on here. Classic racing for this race 2. But Andrew Waite, using his experience, he's got out to a nice early lead with Paul still there in third. And it looks like Paul Christian's had another shocker. I saw his Ferrari halfway tipped into turn 1, so he'll be messaging me again. He was messaging me during the breaks, saying how he got taken out by this car and another car, and how his score is 2-1. So I'm not sure if he thinks he's in a demolition derby or a race at the moment. So, yeah, let's see how we go, TC.
If you see him delving into the fridge, no doubt you'll know he's parking it up for the evening. So we've actually got a motor simulation replay here. So following Andrew Waite here in P1, we've got the tail end of Cameron Freeman off into the wall there. And obviously, as we said, back through the field, we've got faster cars coming through, and that's where we can see your flatmate getting tipped up through the left hand. He actually looked like he was just a bystander there. Obviously, late on the turn in, and he's got 2 cars barreling down the inside of him. So, no doubt he'll be idling through the kitchen very shortly to grab something out of the fridge and be looking forward to race 3, or he might actually, even idle on forward for a decent result in this one. But no doubt he's probably got a little bit of damage to get tidied up there. So, as we jump on board, we've got Kyan Davey here in P4. So, a big move down into the right-hander. So, he's actually made a big dive under Braden Snowden, the Whangarei Rotax light driver there, the urban performance supported driver. And Braden's been supporting a lot of our events over various weeks, and we know he's not scared to get amongst it. We know one of the previous races he was actually a lap mark, and he was actually battling with some of the leaders trying to unlap himself, so he's not scared to get the elbows out, the driver from Whangarei. As we can see, he's hounding down Kyan Davey there, and they're both in the Mercedes SLM vehicles there. As we see off in the distance there, the Muzminion Motorsport drivers of Andrew Waite and Paul Blomqvist leading out. So they're certainly doing justice for their Muzminion Motorsport, their team. And the likes of SVG also joins them at various iRacing platforms as well too. So James Anderson in P5. So good to see James actually trying to have a tidied up result from the first one. Obviously he got involved in a few things and started a fairway, finished the fairway down the order, should we say. As we see Kyan Davey's got the slipstream underneath Braden as they head down the long back straight here at Sebring. into the really, really fast right-hander, which actually tightens as we go through. Underneath the bridge, you can see the cars jumping as they go over the bump there, down onto the start-finish straight as we head into the fast left-hander here at turn 1 there, Ari.
Yeah, and also out in the front, Paul Blomqvist is 3 tenths quicker than Andrew Waite, so let's see if they work together. But we've got 2 Mercedes battling it out in front. As I say that, I can hear Christian going off his roof again.
Classic.
Oh god, it's not going to be a good night. But anyway, but yeah, 2 Mercedes fighting there for 3rd and 4th. Interesting to see how they look after their tyres. It doesn't seem like much time management's going on at the moment. They're just completely going after the same piece of tarmac. And we've got a dive down the inside here. Let's see if he gives them room. Oh no, he doesn't. They've made contact. It looks like it's Kyle Davies gone out in front here. But James Anderson, he's into 5th position. Also note Zane Hills into 11th, so a really good start from the back, as well as Ryan Wood down to 13th. So out of from 3 laps, those guys are nearly in the top 10.
And how cool was the visuals on board of James Anderson there, obviously running in the Ferrari GT3, and from the other view you could actually see it's got the rear vision camera screen up in real time. So we talk constantly about how accurate iRacing is and the way they build these platforms and scan the cars, but that's a real testament right there. You can actually see the rear vision camera operating in real time, as we can see these two, Kai and Davey and Braden Stunning, going hammer and tong there. They managed to drop themselves just off the back of James now. A couple of big steep moves there, and they managed to drop themselves down a couple of positions, as we see Braden lost a lot of momentum there down to P8. Back up with our leaders here, and we can see Andrew Waite there as our leader. Paul Blomqvist there in P2. So Paul must have made a little bit of a mistake. That margin sort of stretched out a little bit there. Obviously both these guys running under the same livery and in the same vehicle. Paul supporting the BMW marquee, which his brother Tom drove in the German DDM Championship, and the BMW factory driver previously, so still supporting the BMW brand there is young Paul, and doing a good job between him and himself. Andrew Waite's there up in the lead. So as we go back down the order there, team, so it's still on for young and old, as we can see Kai and Davies actually getting a real rough end of the stick here. He's having some really good battles up the front, but since him and Braden Snowden came together, they've really lost all momentum, haven't they? And they're dropping back down through, and they're actually running 7th and 8th respectively, with Nathan Krang, Matthew Pluck and Leo Scott all getting in front of those 2 young drivers now.
Yeah, I'm just looking down the order to see where Simon is. Simon Kelleridge. He really needs to be up in this front bunch to do some official race, some stewarding, because I think there's a few dirty moves going on. Here he is in the 22nd place. It's Common Simon. Get up to the front so we can make sure it's all nice and clean up there. But yeah, it's great to also have, obviously, like Simon, things who don't race cars but also help out and volunteer kind of way and love this karting, especially in these tough times. He's made a great pass down. I'm not sure who that dude is. He's passing Nathan Anderson. Yeah, so that's a good pass there, because obviously Nathan's a very competitive driver. But like you said, Paul's caught up 2 tenths now, so I can't wait for that battle to unfold. And also we've got Zane Hills and Ryan Wood together now, just outside the 10.
Yeah, and you see Nathan Anderson's actually had a change in livery for this race as well too. He's got a Red Bull livery on his car, so it's an absolute silly season tonight. We'll see what they pop out for the final race this evening. We've got team changes and brand changes going on all over the place. It's a bit hard to keep up, isn't it? So here's our first view tonight of Zane Hills at the steering wheel. We didn't see Zane in the first one. We've now got his live cam going. He's got a full stealth mode in the bedroom by the look of it. Just got the monitors going on. Looks like he's running a 3-monitor setup, or he might be one of those curved screens that a lot of them are running as well too. Ari, I know there's some men. Dave Serra did touch on it a long time ago when we first started our KartSport series. How, as we can see, a massive move down the inside there. I think that was Nathan Anderson, was it?
Yeah, and Ryan Wood looks like he's involved there as well.
Yeah, it's Woody as well too, wasn't it? So Woody's making his way through the field. So he's up to P10 now, and obviously Zane Hill's just ahead of him. So, but as we were saying before, it was Dave Serial was touching on. It's very similar to bolting on a new set of rubber on your go-kart at the track. They've got these guys with some really flash simulators, pedal boxes, and what have you, and you legitimately do get a gain on how well you can perform on the iRacing platform. So I know that Zane's got a fairly well-established sim there in his bedroom. So we can see we've got a bit of a ding-dong battle going on. Plenty of racing room being given by these guys. Some real polite racing there, not getting any guards torn off their cars. 5 laps into 8 laps, so we will see the elbows start to get thrown out a little bit. The tyre dig's probably well induced now, so everyone will be going hammer and tong to try and make up as many positions for the end of the race, obviously. So P7 for Braden Snowden at the moment. We can see the front bumper of his car's carrying a little bit of damage in the bonnet. You can see that up through the windscreen there. So you can see Andrew Rake running really tight underneath the bridge there. Paul Blomqvist running really wide. So 2 different lines are being used, but both of equal effect. So we can Paul having a good old chuckle to himself there. Probably just thinking about how he doesn't have to pay for the internet because he's still living at home. So he looks like he's having an absolute ball there. And I must say he's got a great looking shirt on there, Ari. He's really looking pretty sharp tonight, isn't he?
Yeah, do I spot a bit of an Octane Industries t-shirt there, Tony?
It is, and it is actually looking a little bit fitting on Paul there as well. I don't think Lockdown's doing too well for Paulie. I didn't remember it being that small when I gave it to him. So as we see Leo Scott here, so he's parked himself up in the fence there, up through turn 1, I think that is, as they go through the fast right into turn 3. We're going to have a little bit of a replay here for your team. Looks a pretty simple one. He might have just outbraked himself, or he might have actually got a bit of a helping hand. No, he's actually got reverse spun on the brakes as they're turning into the left-hander. So they were sort of going 2.5 wide, and it was Braden Snowden that was involved. So Braden sort of come unstuck a little bit from those first 3 laps, hadn't he? He was in a really good groove. Nothing in it with those guys, just under brakes. Just managed to get into one another and taken both themselves off the track there. So it's certainly on for the lead by these two. So yeah, Paul Blomqvist got the bit between his teeth. No team orders here, no doubt. And we can see Andrew Waite just trying to open that fast left-hander up, get himself in the right position for the tight right. So as you noted before there, you can see how much lock Paul's using and how much feedback that wheel's actually got. So he's obviously got a serious bit of kit there underneath him, and he's putting it to good test as he tries to hunt down his teammate and Andrew Waite. So Andrew Waite running out of Cromwell this evening, out of his apartment at Highlands Park, and Paul running out of the Auckland-based Toyota Remuera there. So you can see the amount of feedback he's got in that wheel there and how much lock he's having to use. It actually looks like he's more in a jet sprint boat than he is on a simulator, doesn't it, Ari?
Yeah, he's definitely using most of the straights, relaxing his body, ready for the corners. But I'm not sure if he's at the gym or he's on the simulator.
Yeah, he's certainly getting amongst it, isn't he? And really giving that force feedback a workout. It's really throwing it back in it for him. So, and I'm pretty sure, not being too tech savvy, but you can adjust the amount of feedback that a lot of these wheels have. So he's obviously got it dialed right up and doing himself a really good workout. So as you can see, 2 different lines from these boys. Andrew really getting the car turned in quite early, and either Paul's doing 2 things, either missing his apex or he's actually trying to open the corners up on purpose. So give us a wave if you can hear us there, Paul. We've got you on the screen there, Tiger, doing a really good job. So you can see Andrew Waite gets the car turned in quite early, uses quite a bit of April momentum. Paul is actually trying to open the corner up a little bit. So I would say him and Andrew are just going ding-dong on the microphone and trying to give each other a bit of jip as they go along with only 2 laps to run there, Ari.
Yeah, I'm quite confused with Paul. Obviously, he's pretty serious in the corners, but down the straight, it looks like he's had a puppy expression on his face is priceless. But yeah, obviously, Paul's caught up with 3 tenths within striking distance, so wondering if they're working together. They've only got 2 laps to go. But yeah, it's definitely a workout there for Paul. Like we know, this track is so unforgiving. So one wrong move from these guys, and they can be all over in a heartbeat. As we see, Ryan and all those other guys probably not going to get up to these guys unless they always pull goes off, and that was a very close pull there. we saw in the previous race, you get one wheel on the grass, you go right around all the way to the fence. You can see Paul's expression is a bit gutted there. So he's back down to just around 7/10 back from Andrew. So this is where the fitness pays in. This is where the concentration pays off. So let's see how they can go on these now coming up to the final lap. If we go back to the other battle, Nathan Krang there, making some line changes into the corner.
How many movements? Yeah.
Braden Snowden's already got a pushback, so he doesn't care. He's going to be well into the back, I'm sure, into the back of that Mercedes soon as he takes a very wide line. Oh, again, so lucky not to spin it on the grass there. We've got a couple of Red Bulls, sponsor liveries behind them. So here's Anderson, the Autobahn car, switched from ITM to Autobahn tonight, and in the Ferrari, one of the only probably a couple of Ferraris out there. So yeah, I mean it's all on, but definitely Andrew White and Paul are way out in the front, 10 seconds to be exact.
Yeah, it's quite a big margin in it. Very similar to what we'd had seen in previous formulas. The GT3 formula there has always been quite tight, but this, we've seen some pretty big margins. But that's certainly related to battles like we're seeing on our screen at the moment, aren't we, Ari? It's certainly not by disparity in any of the drivers or the cars. It's just people getting into battles and slowing themselves down. So, and Braden Snowden's one that we've been watching since very early on in the race, didn't he? So he had that little bit of a tussle there with Kai and Davey earlier on, and that's just really upset both their races. But he's managed to drag himself back up and he's inside the top 10. So back to our leaders now, their team. I really would have thought Paul Blomqvist might have made a move by now. But obviously the margin between these two guys is quite tight. So you can really see Paul sucking in the big ones. And once he gets to the straight, you can really see he relax those shoulders in these. So no doubt it probably looks like he's got one of the hardest simulators to drive out of anyone in the field. Well, that's probably what he's going to tell you anyway. So he's looks like he's really got his work cut out. How's this aerial shot here? So this is an old working Air Force base. So quite a lot of history here at Sebring. And the fact that it was an old Air Force base. So we've got a form finish by these two boys. Paul's loving it. Really good result by him and Andrew White. Jokes aside, these guys done a really, really good job. Stretched out a good lead from P3, James Anderson, and then the battling group from sort of 5th all the way down to 10th. So Braden Snowden capping his race off, getting inside the top 10, and congratulating himself by writing his vehicle off on the pit wall there. So Isaac Fletcher there, carrying a huge amount of damage.
That engine looks like it's about to blow.
He's going to be lucky if he can get that thing home on no oil pressure. And that's we don't really see many engine failures as we see he gets finished off.
He's taken the cameraman out.
Yeah. So really, as we said, really impressive result for Andrew Waite and Paul Blomqvist as we can see the results there. Massive margin back to 3rd position in James Anderson. Really good for James to have a good result. And pretty average race in the first one. Matthew Pluck P4, Ryan Wood making his way from the back up to P5. Matthew Griffin, another solid result for him, P3 in the first one, P6 in this one. Zane Hills P7, that's still good points for him for the overall series. Nathan Krang, Braden Snowden and Blake Dowdle wrapping up the top 10 there, Ari.
Yeah, an awesome race. Again, BMW's all the way up the front there. I'm just looking for Christian. Go down the order again.
He's not the 20.
But yeah, hopefully we can actually get an interview with Paul and see what he thought about that race. See how his arms are feeling. See if he's got a little bit more energy left for the last race. But yeah, awesome.
And we'll, as you said, no doubt we'll try and get Paul in for a bit of an interview, whether it be in the tail end now. And I think we've got Paul Blomqvist joining us in the comm box now. You there, Paul?
Oh, g'day team. How are we?
Welcome, mate. Welcome. Hey, mate. So I tell you, we've been watching you. So great result in that first one. Andrew Waite certainly led the charge. Not much in it between you boys.
Yeah, well, we took each other out in the first race, so we thought we'd play it a bit smarter in the second one and not drive into each other.
That's smart.
Yeah, that's smart driving. And how much force feedback have you got in that wheel of yours, mate? Because we've been watching your live coverage, and that thing looks like a real workout.
Yeah, she's quite high up on the old force feedback at the moment. It's giving me a bit of a workout and a bit of a sweat, but it's alright.
Yeah, and because we can see you relaxing the shoulders when you get to the straight, suck in a couple of big ones, get that energy back up, and then you're right back up in the chair once you get into turn 1. So it's bloody good result. Nice bit of clothing you've got on there tonight, mate, too. Really impressive. Good man, look at that. Look at that.
You know, got to support everyone, bit of octane and Muzz Minions on track.
Yeah, nice work, nice work. But no, great to have you along. Good that you've got your camera up and running this evening, and certainly something we've enjoyed bringing everyone. So we'll be keeping an eye out for the random grid draw race, mate. We'll see your lucky stars, see where you end up.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Excellent. So, no, great to have you along, mate. Looking good, and good luck for the final race tonight, buddy.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks,
Enjoy.
Paulie.
Cool, mate. Good luck.
All right, so that was Paul Blomqvist, their team. So, as we said, really great aspect to have along with Jay and Scotty from SimSpeed bringing us all these images. We'll be back with race 3 very shortly. Random grid, 8 laps to finish off the evening here at Sebring for the Dillon Photography KartSport Series. See you very shortly, team.
Oh boy.
Right side. Still there. Wide. Still there. Alright.
Whoop.
Still there.
Oh boy. Oh.
Wide.
Oh, we got him.
You're right.
Oh my god.
Finish.
What?
100.
Wow. Hey, good race, good race.
Opportunity at this stage, and he just needs to keep his nose clean and keep doing what he's doing at the moment because he's doing it right. That's a big slide from Preston up Lucy Heights.
How has he saved it? Oh my word. What a save, an iRacing top 10. You need to put that save back in. I want a replay of that one as we see the likes of Scott Zlowski going on.
The last chicane. I think this will be the opportunity if there is going to be one, and you'll see here Purnell will defend as he is sitting on the inside line there. What can the Porsche do? He's going to try and go around the outside. I'm not sure he's going to get that to stick as he pushes it through, and he's managed to do it. He's managed to get through for the lead. On the second to last corner of the race, he has managed to get through to the lead, Braden Nash, and to take the lead of this race. He's going to snatch it from Purnell.
But they weren't utilizing it as much as this is going to be trouble down at 3. Never mind, they give him room there. Come on, look at that! What a save!
Oh my goodness!
A save by, who is that? Michael Frisch. That's where traction control is your friend.
How in the world did he save that?
Holy...
fantastic. This is GT racing right now. He's got traction, he's going with the outside of both of them. Maloney! Oh, he's taken Anderson. Anderson's up top. Oh my God! Big crash. Oh my goodness, half the field's going to get rolled.
Second very close. These guys I want to make their way through the field very quickly. Oh, there we go. Oh no! That's massive. This is it. This is over. I can't believe this. Oh my God!
God, what?
All right, welcome back there, team. Race 3 coming up very shortly. And before we kick off for our full random grid, we've got Ari Hutton's going to be joining us in the commentary box here. Ari Hutton's joining me in the commentary box. He's been here all night, but Ryan Wood's jumping on in, and then Ari's going to quiz Ryan on his current pace tonight. There, you there, Ryan?
Yeah, I wish I was quick as Ari.
Oh, mate, one day, Ryan, one day. Hey, Ryan, I have to ask you, mate. That qualifying session was unreal. You were 1 second quicker than everyone else in the pack there, and we've got some pretty good names out there as well. So, what's your secret?
Nothing really. Got a new sim because my old one broke, and yeah, I've had it for about a week now, and just been jumping on it every night, and yeah, it goes good.
Awesome. And what type of sim gear do you run? What's your favorite brand?
Well, I've got the Hoosenveld pedals, which is probably the biggest part in sim racing is the braking and being able to modulate the brake. And I just got a direct drive semi-cube wheel on a Sim Black base. So yeah, got all the kit and obviously going alright. So happy with it.
Awesome. And does your old man get involved, tune up the sim, tune up the kart, same kind of thing?
He wishes. He loves it though. He's always asking how I'm going and stuff like that, which is good. But yeah, it's a bit more of my gig, this one, instead of old Shano, so yeah.
Fantastic. Awesome. And also talking about karting, obviously you've been doing a few Gold Star events here. Obviously, unfortunately, you can't get back over to Australia. What other karting events are you planning to do in the near future? Are you planning to do a couple of Wellington Club days here and there and get back into the club racing and support some locals out?
Yeah, definitely. We'll look around at doing a bit of club racing, giving back to the club a bit more, helping out a few of the club members with driver training and stuff like that. But I don't know, we'll see what the calendar brings in New Zealand and in Australia. It just depends on this whole COVID thing, but I'd like to go back to Australia and finish AKC, and hopefully next year doing nationals here, either in Rotex Light or KZ, depending on the budget. So yeah, not too sure at the moment, but yeah, also with the car racing, that's all up in the air as well. So not 100% sure, but looking forward to what's ahead.
Fantastic, mate. Yeah, no, it's awesome to see you out in the iSim Racing Series, and hopefully we can have you on for a couple more weeks to come.
Yeah, no, cool. Thanks for having me, guys.
All right, cheers. Good luck.
Cheers.
Nice work, buddy. Thanks, Ryan. All right, their team, so as we said, so that was Ryan Wood joining us just for a brief catch-up. So I must say, all that sim gear, he lost me within the first 3 words, but it sounds like it's pretty good, Ari. I think
sounds unreal. Definitely interesting to see his comment regarding the pedals and having that modulation with the fancy pedals there. I know that's something that Christian does struggle with sometimes. Because you don't have all your other sensors around you. That's your steering, your pedals, and your screen, and sound is all you get. You don't have anything other than that. So I guess the better you can get those, the more feeling you can get out of them, then the more that you know what's going around you in a virtual world, if you like.
Yeah, that's right. I remember talking to Richard Moore when we first started doing these KartSport series in the middle of lockdown, and he's got quite an old simulator, and he was telling me how the wheel doesn't actually have any feedback. The pedals are just on or off virtually, and he said it was a real struggle, especially when we were running like V8 Supercar and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
you can really see how much difference good equipment does make. It's like anything in motorsport in Ari. So some really cool comments from Ari there. We've got some great visuals here of somewhere at Sebring, someone's pool.
How good is that? Maybe that's where the winner's pool is, it?
Yeah. So So that's down at the hairpin. So got a really, really great view. I wouldn't mind if we're allowed to travel at some stage. Might go check out Sebring and stay there. That sounds like not a bad old spot to go watch some car racing, Ari, by the look of it.
Perfect.
So,
We need to move the commentary box.
I know. Lucky the old iPhone's waterproof, eh? So what have we got here, team? So, excuse me. So, obviously, random grid for race 3 tonight. Matthew Griffin has drawn. So this is going to be really good for Matthew. Remember, he's had a 3rd and an 8th, if I remember rightly. So he's had a really great night so far. So Matthew will be looking to press on with those results. Mikey Muir out of P2. Arthur Brown out of the 2nd row, P3. Nathan Krang, P4. Braden Snowden had a pretty action-packed race too, didn't he, Ari? So we'll keep an eye on him out of row 3. Simon Billing Claridge, one of our stewards out of Wellington. Great to see Simon there. Row 3. Ryan Wood, just talking to him. So how's that for a stitch-up? P7 for Ryan Wood. And so he's going to have a reasonably easy go from there, we'd say. We'll see what happens. Oscar Goldfinch, P8. Zach Blinko out of P9. And Nathan Anderson running out of P10 for our random grid order race. So it'll be interesting to see how this is going to pan out. Young Ashton Phipps there, P12. Plenty of people scattered through. Andrew Waite, really not a fan of the lap scorers tonight. He's running out of P23. So down the front straight here, team ready for green, and looks like we are away as we've got the fast run down there. We've got, and that's Cameron Dance being spun around there. So that's an absolute disaster for him. Not a good race. So really good start there by Matthew Griffin. Just holding P2 as he's getting into the back. So here we go. Cameron Dance is giving this thing a tune-up. He stopped mid-race somewhere. He's on the old laptop there. So see Matthew Griffin's just dropped back a little bit, and maybe just under cold tyres, just waiting for that tyre temperature to come up, and so he can settle into his groove. So at the moment, it's Braden Snowden in P1. Arthur Brown, the young South Island driver there, P2. Matthew Griffin, and it looks like we might have a little bit of is it a full course yellow, is it? No, looks like we're under full course yellow there, so we're under yellow there, team. We could see everyone slowing down a little bit, and we just had the yellow dot, our notification, come up on the top left of our results screen there, team. So this is going to back them all up, even though we are only 8 minutes into it. So you can see we obviously just everyone keeping some temperature on those tyres. Quite an important thing under those yellow flag situations there, Ari.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this is actually one of the first times I've seen a full course yellow on our racing, so it's something new again, which is awesome. Let's see what it breeds. The safety cars. Oh, this is a replay.
So that's our replay. Yep.
Yes, as you can see, that yellow BMW just got into the side, and then bang, the rest of the pack comes in, and it's all on massive. One car doing a Rick Kelly style in the air, multiple 360s, multiple flips. But yeah, obviously back into the yellow, something new for myself. I didn't know that iRacing did that, so that's pretty cool. But let's hope it doesn't breed another yellow flag, as what Christian sometimes says. Especially hearing about Speedway, apparently there's a lot of iRacing yellow flags that often happen in that. But how good is that crash?
It's pretty substantial. So obviously so still under yellow flag conditions. We can see everyone actually might be when we are going. What do we got here? So yellow flag still waving their team. Braden Snowden is still our leader. Arthur Brown, they're still in P2. Matthew Griffin, the pole setter, running out of P3 there at the moment. Zach Blinko, P4. And Nathan Anderson there in P5. So Woody P6 at the moment. So we keep an eye on that. And so I think we had... So not sure if Chris Dillon is still in the commentary box. You still there, Chris? Or have we lost you? I think we might have lost Chris. So we had a couple of really interesting chats offline with Chris, talking about some of the previous photography that he's done. A lot of race car stuff. And he did some stuff with a certain TRS driver that actually came from a sim racing background. Is that right, Ari?
Yeah, Igor Fraga, he was saying, did a bit of work with him, so that's interesting. Obviously a fantastic story, as everyone knows, he obviously came through Gran Turismo and is racing with our very own. As we just see the safety car
Pace
cut the
car
track
off
there.
the track, yeah, interesting. Yeah.
He's racing with our own Liam Lawson and FIA F3. So like again, like we always say every week, but iRacing is so, well, simulator racing in general is so realistic these days, and it is potentially an avenue to go further in motorsports. But hey, we're karters here, so we always prefer going real racing, don't we, Tony? And
That's right.
KartSport New Zealand around the country. I just want to mention as well, how good is the flag wavers in this game as well on the main straight. Here he is again. Mate, this guy must be the fittest flag marshal in the world. Apparently his name's Barney, I've just been told. And he's going for it. And you can see the flag from a mile back.
He's absolutely flat knacker, isn't he? And he's not letting up. He's just running 10,500 RPM, and he is going flat out. So very enthusiastic, and we'll obviously still under yellow conditions as we see, and we've got just a tail view running out of the back of the pace car. So obviously laps still counting down as well too, while we're under yellow there. And I'm just giving those people a chance to get those cars repaired back out on the track. And as we have a quick look at our leaderboard there too. So just going back through, see a couple of familiar names. So Paul Blomqvist up into P15. And haven't seen Andrew Waite come through yet. Obviously Andrew Waite coming out of P23 he was. So a 1-2 finish for the Muzz Minion Motorsport their team in Heat 2. I'm not surprised that if we see a 1-2 finish from those boys, I'll be impressed. Given that it's the random grid draw that we started with there, Ari. So we can see Zane Hills here. So he must have been tied up in a little bit of kerfuffle there at the start, just making his way back up onto the back of the field under yellow conditions there, and we see some onboards there with Zane as he's making his way onto the back of the field there, Ari. So can't be too much longer to go under yellow, and we'll be back under green very shortly, and we'll see it virtually just another complete restart. It won't be, Ari.
Yeah, it's interesting there. Zane's going to have pretty warm tyres as he catches up to the bunch, so that's probably going to work in favour. But how good's the pit recruit team? They've pretty much taken a second-hand car and produced a brand new one in the space of a couple of minutes, so not too bad.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive.
But like Christian always says, like from hearing and talking to him about some racing, is that these cars are very good, but they're so tricky in those first single lap, first double lap, depending on the track with cold tyres. So with everyone bunched up like this, a bit of a mixed field, I think we're going to be in for a bit of chaos for lap one.
Yeah, and you can we say it every week how accurate the iRacing platform is, but they do really constitute how the cars go on a cold tyre, and as you see, Christian's made comments about how difficult the cars actually can be to drive under a cold tyre. So as we see someone actually going past the safety car. So that's quite interesting. Not sure how the penalty actually worked with that one. I actually didn't know Jamie Whincup was actually in the field tonight. So Jamie Whincup must be joining us. So
he's given up. He's gone. Leo's gone. He's out of here.
Leo Scott's. He's been waved by. So this is where mine and Ari's non-iRacing brains don't work very well. So we don't know the little idiosyncrasies, but each driver has all their notifications come up on their monitor, and he's actually been waved by. So just like in real life. So it's not as though Leo Scott had actually just had a guts full and wanted to tear off into the distance. He was actually waved by, and the little experience that I have, and done a little bit of speedway, a little bit of midget racing on the iRacing platform, and as you can imagine, yellow conditions on a speedway race are quite tricky to get everyone back in order, and it works really well the way they tell you to get which order that you're in, and what car's in front, what car's behind you. So that's obviously what's happened there with Leo Scott there, Ari.
Yeah, it wasn't quite what we thought, but this is unfortunate because this is going to cut the race down in half here. There's some interesting tyre procedures going on, some which are off track on the grass, so maybe that's a little secret as well we don't know about. And we've got also a Lando Norris and a Scott McLaughlin set up here by Nathan Crane. So he's sort of trying to get a bit of mix of a Formula 1 drive-esque flavour going on as well as Best Supercars, so we'll see how that works out for him. Also, Zach Balinko with a light surf, and Ryan Wood, and also, interesting fact, that's actually Ryan's real karting helmet and suit he's got on, so he's obviously loaded that up in the game. And we've got a virtual Ryan Wood on display right now with Tracer course on his visor there, Tony. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's really impressive, isn't it? So it'd be nice to actually find out how they can scan their helmets, and that's really quite cool. Not sure if his suit would have actually passed tech. Not the safest suit to be wearing in a race car. Obviously a kart suit with a lot of nylon in it. So I'm not sure if Brian knows that. But hey, nonetheless, it looks good, and he's looking after his sponsors. So it's really cool. You're not just you've got all these drivers just running around and playing gear. So we're away by the pace car. Our flag waving going absolutely nuts. So we've got a big move on cold tyres. And is that Ryan Wood that's gone right around the outside of them? So I know that we'll probably get a replay at some stage on that, but he's had an absolute barnstormer at a stage. We see someone's dropped a wheel off and into the left-hander. And how many times have we seen that tonight? So that's Arthur Brown, just people dropping just a slight wheel off the track there, Ari, and it's caused them into a big oversteer moment, loop round into the fence. So that we've seen that quite a bit tonight, haven't we?
Yeah, exactly. And before we got started there, we could see Ryan really warming up his tyres, exactly like he would do in the kart. And that's really paid off. He's obviously got so much confidence in that BMW, and he's gone already. He's already, I'd say a second up into the lead already. So, yeah, there we go, 1.8. Not even a lap. So Ryan's definitely got the hang of warming up those tyres and going hard and going early. And we can see Isaac Fletcher there on screen. It's awesome to see he's got his kart suit out again. He might even have some sponsors, which unfortunately is not quite in focus, but we all know that Isaac's sponsored by the Tasman Kart race team down there in the South Island. But yeah, what a start from Ryan, and then Nathan Crane and Blake Dowdle. So, and then we've got your favourite Pink Panther, Zach Blinko in P4 there.
Yeah, it's absolute stellar start by Ryan. You know, he's come right around the outside. So a little bit of a replay here, team. So here's the start. So you can see safety car peels off, and Ryan's got an absolute slingshot there. And so he's actually got all the way into P1 just as they've got into the braking zone for turn 1. So absolute barnstorm of a start. As they've gone across the control line, he's still in his grid position. And that's absolutely phenomenal. So really good effort by Ryan, and obviously his margin out to 1.6 seconds. Nathan Crane obviously right in the thick of it there on the restart there on the bright fluorescent green vehicle there. So here we go, here's a chase cam of Ryan Wood. So you can just see the team is in hunting distance. So Nathan Crane is in hunting distance. I know it's at the 4 seconds, but it's still a visual gauge for Nathan. He'll be able to brake a little bit later. He'd have a moving braking marker, as they call them, when you're trying to chase someone down. So here we've got the group of Billy Fraser and Ashton Phipps and Nathan Anderson. So Nathan Anderson certainly in good company there with the young junior Rotax driver of Ashton Phipps there. Here we go on board with him in P10, and he's got the very experienced sim racer of Nathan Anderson behind him, so he can see he's getting the car nice deep under brakes, just misses the apex a little bit, but gathers the car, uses all the apron on the left-hander through the fast right-hander, uses the curb to get the car rotated a little bit, and just trying to keep Nathan Anderson behind him there as young Eston doing a really good job. So we've got a bit of a replay here. So we've got Blake Dowdle and obviously the group of Nathan Crane, Zach Blinko and the like. So we can see half a move and just quite a soft spin there for Blake. So what he's actually done is he's done that to avoid Nathan Crane. He could have quite easily gotten to the back of him, couldn't he, Ari, and taken them both out. But really good job by Blake just to take himself out. I suppose we see a big move by Braden. Is that Braden Snowden there? Has he changed livery on us? Yes, he has, in number 5. And he's getting right into the back of Nathan Crane there, wasn't he?
Yeah, exactly. We need to put a bit of a Formula 1 rule in saying you can't change livery, otherwise it's so hard for us.
Can't keep up, isn't it? That's right.
Exactly. But yeah, Paulie here is going down the inside. Man, that turn one's hard, isn't it? Because you've got the apex with the walls, and then the track opens up again. And then you go under the bridge. Sorry, that is the last corner, I should say. But yeah, Paul's done a good job here. Obviously, using that full force feedback wheel to P4. And also Zach's having another good race. Obviously had a really good solid race in race 1. And is having another good one here in race 3. So just looking down the order, Zane Hills is in 13th, so that's still going to be good for his championship, and he'll be pretty happy because I think if he manages to get in the top 10 or even top 13 from what I can see in the points, he's going to take out the championship. So it's just about keeping out of trouble, and again, that's easier said than done, as we see Kai and Dave spin off with a bit of a helping hand there. But yeah, Ryan is 6.1 out in front. Here he is here on screen. We talked to him what his secret was, and literally it was gear. I think the pedals makes a huge difference here, especially in the GT cars. And obviously time and obviously pure talent. It's awesome to hear that he's also still getting back out in his kart. I know this weekend they've got a club day at Hawke's Bay. They've had to postpone the Blossom meeting there in Hawke's Bay, but they assured me that it's still going to be on this year, so it's been one that Ryan's probably going to be targeting as he can't travel to Australia. And down the pack here, I was actually just talking to Christian at the break there, and he said literally, if you're outside the 10, it's literally demolition derby. So he's actually rage quit. He's
rage quit. Oh,
he's
no.
rage quit, and he's I don't know. He's either cooking someone. He's either finished all the chocolate and cooking his own dinner. I don't know what he's doing. Anyway, enough of him. But back.
Big move.
No.
So Kai and Davey, he's been right. So him and so young Kai and Davey and Braden Snowden were having an absolute ding-dong battle in the previous race, weren't they? Remember Ari at the start of the race, and he's through no shortage of carnage tonight for Kai and Davey. There, he's getting right amongst it and literally outbraked himself by about 300 k's. And taking a couple of people with him, so a bit of a shame. But as we go, so Matthew Griffin's actually dropped a little bit down the order. So either he's got amongst, he might be carrying a bit of damage, because you can see he certainly hasn't got the pace that Zane Hills has got as they get down into turn 1. So obviously we know there's a little bit of a draft there as well. So you can see a little bit of damage on the front end. Matthew Griffin's cat-supported BMW there, so will that be slowing him down in a straight line? Certainly looks like it might be. So as Zane Hills clears Matthew and tries to hunt down those leaders, but remember, we've spoke about it briefly tonight, Zane will be keeping those series points in mind, and just thinking of that long game, just trying not to get involved in anyone's problems, not to try and carry any damage, and just try and bank the most amount of points he can. As we see, speaking of banking points, Ryan Wood obviously 7 seconds off into the distance now, as we've got some onboard footage here of Nathan Anderson running in the P6 at the moment. Got Billy Fraser behind him and Aston Phipps there in P8. So Aston actually got into the 7, but then they had a bit of a kerfuffle there with a few of the drivers, and he's just dropped just 1 position. So Ashton's still doing a really good job there in P8, and got some really good drivers behind them in the form of Blake Dowdall, Zane Hills, Matthew Griffin, Isaac Fletcher. So Ashton doing an absolutely stellar job this evening, as we can see. Once again, we'll put the commentator's curse on them, haven't he, Ari? I was saying how well he was doing, and he's gone and outbraked himself nonetheless. So, but here's a battle here. There, Ari, Nathan Crane P3, Paul Blomqvist in P4.
Yeah, we've got an ex-carter and a current carter battling it out for the top 3 positions. But also, just talking about Nathan, he is second in the championship. A little bit. Oh, we've got live championship points as we speak. I'm just looking on the spreadsheet at the moment. So, from race 7, which is our first race today, Zane Hills has pulled out a decent gap, around 20 points, I should say. And Nathan is in second there. So, interesting to talk about that. But yeah, what a battle we got going on here. I wish we could see Paul's face right now, whether he's still laughing or he's actually concentrating this time. And we've got Nathan Crane going for the block line. Is Paul going to try and go around the outside? He is.
Oh.
They've made contact.
Tried to get the car turned in, didn't he? But Nathan Crane was right there. So good solid racing by this. A bit of a block pass by Nathan. But he still gave Paul plenty of room. So Paul's all over him. He's a lot more serious this time, isn't he there, Paul? There's no talking going on the Discord. So you can see Nathan Kang running narrow. Paul Gonkus right on the steering stop as they come off the right into the fast left. A bit of a double left as they go through there. The track tapers off a little bit. Paul trying to turn in a little bit. Nathan Crane running right down on the pole line again. He's going to get the better drive off. You can see that car dancing as Paul tries to get the throttle down. And now Paul once again is on the other side of the circuit. Real fast part of the circuit as he lets him go into brakes. And he's made that pass stick. So a really good job by Paul. Now get the eyes forward as they go left into the apron to try and open that right-hander up as much as they can. Really good piece of driving. You can see him sucking in the big ones again there, Paulie. And good job by him to get that pass done on Nathan Crane. So checkered flag there, team. Ryan Woods is our race winner for race 3 tonight there. Awesome job by him, flashing the headlights. Good job, buddy. Good to catch up with you earlier on. And it's all on for these two. So Paul Blanco's going to try right run the outside.
This is going to end in tears.
Straight. And he goes across sideways. So P3.
And Paul doesn't look happy.
But he's come away with a podium, so fantastic. What an absolutely barnstormer of a finish of race 3 tonight there, team. So you can see the margin. She's absolutely nothing. So Matthew Griffin, P9, he won't be very happy about it, starting up in the front row and obviously having a grid 3, a podium in the first race. So obviously his race went backwards a little bit. So a bit of a shame for Matthew, but nonetheless great to have him back. Ryan Wood there, obviously our winner of our final race this evening of our random grid there. So absolutely really exciting race, wasn't it, that Ari?
Yeah, and we're just getting the points in live from our Google Docs here. And Zane Hills has taken the 3-round championship sponsored by Dillon Photography with a total of 44 points, followed by Nathan Anderson at 69 points and Blake Dowdle at 95 points. So that's your top 3 for our 3-round championship. So well done to those guys, and a special well done to Zane, really taking it out, playing a really smart game here in the last round and taking out the championship. But just looking at the points, he really made his lead on the first round we had, race 1, race 2, race 3, where he had 3 first positions. And to be honest, the race 9 was actually his lowest position. But all the races, he wasn't outside the 10. So that's amazing consistency from Zane and fantastic, especially with it being so easy to get caught up in someone else's carnage.
Yeah, it's all about that consistency. He stamped his mark early, winning those 2 races on that first night. And as he said, didn't finish outside the top 10 for the rest of the series. So good job by Zane. He's a really experienced sim racer. And this isn't the only thing that he's won. He does a lot of different online races on the iRacing platform. So just another notch to Zane Hill's belt there, and good job by him this evening. The Anderson brothers certainly didn't feature too much this evening. I don't know if a change in the livery maybe was a bit of bad luck for them, Ari. I'm not too sure, but they weren't their usual selves. Certainly James didn't see him feature much, if all. So, but congratulations to Ryan Wood taking it 2 race wins tonight to round out our Dillon Photography KartSport series. And I think, Chris, you're still with us there, buddy?
I'm here. Can you hear me at all?
Yes, we can hear you. Perfect. Welcome back. So,
night, yeah.
No dramas.
Fantastic to be involved, and I hope the sponsorship helps. Keep it going. And, we can build on finding new champions. That's what it's all about, really, eh?
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, so yes, certainly from our end and KartSport New Zealand, along with our other partners with Gill Trip Group and Carter's Tyres, it's been great to have you involved. And obviously, myself and Ari have mentioned it the previous nights, but where can people find you and the best platforms to get in touch with you and check out your work?
Well, yeah, the best thing is, look, Instagram's easy with @DillonPhotoNZ, Dillon.co.nz, or call me 0274 Dillon. It's not hard. I mean, look, if the guys are there and they're looking at sponsorship photos, you know, at the end of the day, motorsport's not cheap, and sponsors certainly help pay those bills, you know, but sponsors want something back, and a lot of the time it's something they can advertise with. So that's where I come in, and I'm happy to talk to anyone involved in KartSport. However, and including this iRacing series, because at the end of the day, some of these guys, I mean, you've only got to look at guys like Igor Fraga, who went from Gran Turismo to winning the Toyota Racing Series. I mean, that's an incredible thing. So
That's right.
It's really, really, I'm there to help. That's what it is. I don't mind giving back because I have a lot of wonderful automotive companies who pay my bills, and when it comes to helping young guys, I'm keen to. So just get them to give me a call. Easy.
Cool. No, most definitely. So yeah, once again, thanks very much, Chris. Been great having you along, and no doubt we'll see you again very soon. So as we said there, team, that wraps up our 3-week series of the Dillon Photography supported iKartSport series. Keep an eye on the Facebook pages for some ideas for the next upcoming series. This has certainly been a great formula and been thoroughly enjoyable. I'm sure you'd agree there, Ari.
Yeah, definitely. It's been great, and big thank you to Chris Dillon for supporting such an amazing 3-round series. I've definitely enjoyed being a part of it, and yeah, some of the racing out there is nearly as good as what you see at your local KartSport New Zealand event around the country. So make sure you still get out there and support your local club with club days, like we heard Ryan Wood doing. You know, there's events all around the country. You can race every weekend if you wanted to. And obviously with COVID coming in and out, you know, it's make the most of now because you don't know what's around the corner.
Yeah, that's right. No, it was words there, Ari. So, yeah, once again, thanks to the supporters. Thanks for everyone watching at home. Thanks to the drivers for making the series. And as we said, keep an eye on the social pages for iKartSport League, and we'll keep you up to date with future plans. And no doubt we'll have another exciting series lined up for you very soon. So, from myself, Tony Chambers, Ari Hutton joining me in the commentary box, and obviously Chris Dillon joining us this evening. Thanks for coming along. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you again very soon. Good evening.
This is fantastic. This is GT racing right now. He's got traction. He's going around the outside. Both of them. Maloney. Oh, he's taking Anderson. Anderson's up top. Oh my God. Oh, big crash. Oh my goodness. Half the field's going to get rolled.
It's very close. These guys are want to make their way through the field very quickly. Oh, there we go. Oh no. That's massive. This is it. This is over. I can't believe this. Oh my God.
God, what?